billionaires use this technique and don't even know it. I'm gonna show you how you can use this too so that you start to create more abundance than ever before. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you this manifestation technique that's gonna sound a little bit esoteric. However, I believe that billionaires and millionaires have been using it without even understanding it at all, maybe even at all. And maybe even if they heard this, they would think that it sounds ridiculous. However, what I wanna show you is this perspective that I've been applying to my own life. Right now, I'm using that same technique and I've been getting better results than ever. And it has to do with understanding how reality works and the consistency of the kind of people that do certain things repetitively and the kind of impact that has. Now, let me share with you a little story. I met somebody at, when I used to work at Barney's New York and Women's Shoes, and that store, you help people with shoes that are $1,200. They're very wealthy people normally coming in to buy shoes. So I was very used to being around very wealthy people. One time though, this guy came in. He's known as Big Mike. He is somebody that is in actually the marijuana industry. And I used to see him on Instagram. He's kind of like the Dan Bilzerian of weed. And the only reason I know about who he was is because he worked with a company called RSD, and I used to see him in their posts and stuff because some of the members lived at his house. And he had this really baller mansion house. So they used to make videos at his house all the time. It's the only reason I knew about him. And he seemed like a real cool guy. I knew that he had some type of company that provided some type of fertilizer. And he lived in LA, or he lives in LA. And I lived in Las Vegas. That's where I worked in women's shoes. And one day he came in and I saw him and I recognized him from it's actually funny because that company, I'm friends with them now. So it's like my buddy Owen, I was like, oh, I know you from, I didn't say it just like that, but I was like, oh, I recognize you from Owen's videos. And he's like, oh, cool. So we sat down and talked for over an hour. And his girlfriend at the time, I don't know if they're still together, went shopping. So I'm talking to him and he's worth, I don't know, he's very successful though. He is worth, I think, over $100 million, very successful guy. And through talking to him, one of the things we talked about different books, we talked about success. One of the things he said is he knew of all the billionaires he knew, not one of them got up past 7 o'clock in the morning. He said, and most of them get up around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I found that very interesting. So getting up that early and knowing that a consistent amount of them get up that early, it made me think, what is the pattern there? Why would they get up that early? So after that, it just kind of planted a seed where I knew that getting up early in the morning had some type of power, some type of magic to it. So now what you can do is fast forward now that I've been learning about the esoteric side of how reality works. And something I've been very aware of lately is what is called the collective consciousness. So every single city and the whole world in general has a collective consciousness, this is the esoteric side of the video. So has a collective consciousness where our thoughts are an energetic form and they go outside of our energetic fields. Now what happens is throughout the day, let me show you right now as well. Throughout the day, as you look out right now, this is early in the morning. This is like 6 o'clock in the morning. As you see right now, you can see that it's very quiet. You can see that there's not a lot of people. I mean, you can't really, there's like a street down there, but you can't really see that many people go around. There's not too many boats doing too many different things. And because so many people are asleep right now, they aren't generating thoughts. They aren't generating frequency and emotion. Therefore, the veil is the thinnest when most of the people in your city are still sleeping. So maybe this depends on your culture, maybe this depends on your city. Maybe if many people sleep in on Saturdays or Sundays, maybe then that window goes until 6 or 7. But in general, the accumulated thought forms of the people in your city are going into the energetic field. Think of it like our thoughts are literally things. So when you are thinking thoughts, it's not just you're thinking them in your mind, it's thoughts have an energetic form. This is something that a lot of esoteric work proves or points to, and that is that our thoughts are actually things. Now, what happens is certain times of our days, there are certain things that are more beneficial to us. So for example, most creative work, creative people will find that the best time to do creative work is either early in the morning or late at night. And think about that. People are either asleep at the very early morning, there's still a lot of people sleeping at night, there's a lot of people that are asleep. So it's almost like the veil is the thinnest, there's the most creative energy at that point. So when and if you get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, the veil is the thinnest. As you walk around, as you even walk around the city right there, you will notice or see or be able to energetically feel that there's a certain type of freshness to the energy. There's a certain level of lightness to the energy, and that has to do with simply because there's not as many thought forms. There's not as many people thinking thoughts. There's not as many people getting inside their head about things because they're asleep. So this is an esoteric technique that I believe many billionaires and millionaires use, with this simple understanding that most of them get up between 5 and 7 in the morning. And I believe that when they get up, they're thinking about their day, their productivity mindset. So they're like thinking about what they're going to do for the day. And they're thinking about their goals, they're contemplating, they're maybe drinking their morning coffee. And I believe that then what happens is that puts the energy out there when the veil is the thinnest, that then has it to where they're able to get better results than ever. So this is something that I've been applying in my own life for about the last week and a half now, because but prior to that, I was getting up mainly at like 7 or 8 in the morning for years. I justified it because I'm like, well, I work for myself. I can get up whenever I want. But what I've been realizing lately is we were in Tulum, Mexico. I made the goal of this. I was like, I'm going to start getting up at like 6 o'clock every day. Didn't happen though. And then eventually coming here, which is another hour or two behind, it was a little bit easier. But now I naturally get tired around 9:30 or 10, which is crazy. So crazy. It was never like that before. I would not even start getting tired till midnight. Now I get tired at like 9:30, 10, 9:30 actually I start getting tired. And then in the morning I just naturally wake up at about 5:30, 5. And when I get up, there is a thinness of the veil. And for me, that's been in a way where it's more creative work. I'm able to get more things done. And I also just feel like in general, the ability to manifest what I want, the thoughts I have more potency, have more power. So this is a simple technique that almost anyone can apply. And what you can begin to do is get up earlier. Think of in your city, when is it that most people are still asleep? When is it that there isn't so much energy going around? And think of this as well. What is the feeling that you have? The feeling. You know, the feeling gets put out there, and it's almost like because there's not a bombardment of energy, the feeling cuts through like a knife much easier. So what I do when I wake up in the morning every single day, I'll show you, it's simply this. So when I am waking up, I'll show you. I know it's a little bit redundant because I've shared this before, but what I do is I also normally have this little crystal right here. Now I know that sounds probably funny to, making a video about, what billionaires do, but crystals for me are a permission slip where it magnifies the energy. There's a certain sacred geometry to crystals. So what I normally do is I put it over my heart like this, and what I do is I just feel the emotion of me already experiencing what I want. And as I wake up in the morning, I'll start to wake up, and then what I do is I just focus on the heart center. I focus on growing that energy. I focus on gratitude that I have in life. Think about it. Gratitude is what links you up to, you're saying, this is what's in my life. This is what I'm grateful for. It brings more of that to you. It puts you in a state to where you can perceive more of it. It unifies you with the reality you want. So when it comes to gratitude, what if you could be grateful for the things you don't already have? You could be grateful for things that you then kind of assert are already here. So in the morning, I wake up, and what I do is I put this on my heart, and I focus on that gratitude for the reality and living in that reality that I want to live in. So I do that for about 5-10 minutes. Then what I do is I go over here. Well, I'm in an Airbnb right now, so this is a little bit different setup than usual. What I do is I have those drapes closed and I meditate right here for about 15 to 20 minutes. And what meditation does is meditation helps you to release resistance. It helps you to, also when I meditate, I kind of drift into my being. It's called my being vibration, or the being vibration. And I get into that state, and that stillness is a very high vibrational energy that feels very good. So when it comes to different times of the day as well, this might also sound a little bit esoteric, but I was talking to my friend Bridget Nielsen about this, who you may have seen her YouTube videos. We were talking about this in Sedona when I was there a couple months ago. Certain times of the day are, there is certain benefit, or maybe it was her boyfriend Patrick I was talking to this about, I forget. Anyways, there's this certain time of the day when what happens is there's certain optimal times for you to do certain things. So for example, in the morning, I get my work done. I get my creative work done right when I wake up. I focus on contemplation right in the morning when I meditate right after that. And then what happens around 1 or 2, that's a time of the day when most people are kind of out and about. That's the time of day when it's good to actually release. And that's why it's good to go to the gym, because you're sweating, you're releasing. So between like 12 to 3, and then after that, there's a wind down time that's good between, I think, like 6 and 8 o'clock. Think about the collective consciousness of the people and just the energy dynamics that are there. Not that it has power over you, but the idea is to optimize your time of day. Now I realize some people may work graveyard, some people may not be able to link it up like that. It's not the end all be all. However, in general, this whole understanding the collective consciousness and especially the collective energy of your city is helpful in understanding when optimal times are, because it's almost like it fuels you. But in general, we're all connected. And because we're all connected, there are certain times that many people are doing certain things, and this is the best time for us to tap into ourselves. So billionaires, millionaires, they all have certain habits, certain things they do. I find it very interesting that most of them get up between 4 and 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's not just, by the way, that's just not what I heard from this Big Mike guy. This you can read about anywhere you look. So many people talk about, I think I even heard Sadhguru talk about this, although he says I think it's the veil is the thinnest at 3 a.m. But in general, you could get up every day easier at 4 or 5 most likely, unless you have the time to be able to go to bed at like 6 or 7 and then get up every day at 3. But in general, this is something that you can find statistics on. Many of the most successful people in the world get up around 6 o'clock or earlier, 7 o'clock or earlier, and it's kind of a well-known thing. But talking to somebody made me realize it even more. I'm like, really? You know, it's not just a statistic anymore. It's like somebody said that via firsthand experience, who I can tell is being honest about it. So me personally, I've been getting up at 4 o'clock, about 5:30, 5 or 5:30 in the morning. Not because my intention is that I have to be a billionaire, but just knowing that what I want to create in my life is most potent right when I wake up in the morning, and knowing that the time to do that is when the energy, the veil is the thinnest, is something that I believe is gonna be a game changer in my own life. So this is something that I'm going to continue to use. Maybe I'll document a follow-up video in the future about it. And let me know what you think of this video. Let me know below, comment, let me know what you think about videos like this where I kind of show a little bit more. Do you like videos? Hit the like button if you like videos like that. But let me know, I know it's a little more esoteric. Do you think the time of day has an impact on our energy? And also, one of the best meditations you can use for wiring in what I'm talking about as I fall asleep at night and as I wake up in the morning, like I showed you with the crystal and the feeling, is a meditation that is the most powerful meditation for manifesting while you sleep. That's the title of it on YouTube. I'll go ahead and link it in the top of the description box below. Listen to that meditation for 21 days and watch your life change. 21 days is long enough to change your energetic field. It uses the exact technique I'm talking about, will help drift you off into a sleep, and listen to that before you go to bed and watch how your self-image begins to change, your energy begins to change, and everything that comes with it. So then you'll also prime yourself in the morning to get up at a certain time, and to know that then you can think about what you want to create and be in that feeling state. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace, much love, and namaste.